Hey guys, I skimmed through the rule book and I want to talk about it for a bit because I've been thinking about it a lot. Uh, I have mixed feelings about it. I'm reading it right next to my other stuff. I opened this up and I opened up this one here. I just noticed the horse is actually a robot. It took me like 2 days to figure that out, that the horse was a robot. And it says here that this has 54 models and all that stuff there. So I think that's pretty good. 300 for 54 models. Anyways, so I've been reading this and I have the older one, the older codex. I'm not sure if I made a video on that or not, but I got some mixed feelings on it. So I really like the art. Like, the art is really solid. They did a really good job with the art and stuff. So anyways, I got mixed feelings on this book. So for one, there's a lot less story in it than I thought there'd be. In the other codex, there was like stories upon stories upon stories, and the intro was like super long, and it would tell you it would tell you like a story about each unit. Like the Death Leaper had its own story. The Lictor had its own story. Like Carnivores had its own story. Like each and every unit would have a story. And the intro here is a lot shorter than in the other codex. I will say it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier to look at this. Like, it's a lot easier to figure out what's going on. In the other codex, there was stuff everywhere, and it made it pretty hard to read. So in this codex, it's a lot easier to figure out what's going on. It's a lot simpler, but it is a lot less interesting. Let's see if I can find it. I will tell you guys now. If I can find it. This page here I found was the most interesting. It tells you how all the guns work, the Tryanid guns, which wasn't in the old codex. In the old codex, they would tell you how like 2 guns would work, and that's it. So I think this is a pretty big improvement. They're showing you how all the guns work, which is pretty rad. So far, this is my favorite page of the codex. This one here. So yeah, not a lot of story in this one. It does sum up Tryanid history pretty quickly, and it sums up all the Tryanid high fleets pretty quickly. But I find it less interesting. And the rules section. I don't play the board game a lot. I can understand what all this stuff means. Like, I understand what all this stuff, translates to. But, I don't play the board game much. I skipped the stratagem section and the how to play section, because I'm not interested in that. So, what's interesting is So if you look at the points here, the Broodlord used to be like 170. Now he's like 120. So that's pretty cool. And you can see all these price drops. Like the High Tyrant, I think used to be like 200. So there's a lot of price drops in the book compared to the other codex I have. I don't have the other codex out with me, but this used to be like 165, now it's 120. So you can see all that there. A lot of price drops. I think the Travagon actually went up, which is weird, because I don't think anyone played the Travagon. And half of these guys aren't in Unification, that Dawn of War thing, which is a shame. Yeah, a lot of these guys went down in points. These guys didn't. I think these guys stayed the same. I think these were 7 points before, but they're strength 5 now, which is really cool. So I think both these guys are strength 5 instead of strength 4. Warriors, they buffed Warriors. I think Warriors is probably the best unit in the book, from what I can tell. I'm not a board game expert or a Tryanid expert, but I do think Warriors is going to be the way to go. They used to be like awful and no one used them, but with the buffs I've seen, they seem to be better than Space Marines now. So if you want something that's better than Space Marines, there you go. This is really solid. But yeah, a lot of the stuff in here got buffed, and the price drops, which is a nice combo. But I will tell you guys now that a lot of the abilities have changed. Like the Broodlord, I think when he kills something, he can move again. I think they got rid of that. And he also had this ability where he can protect the Gene Stealers. And I didn't check to see if he had that or not. The Swarmlord doesn't have. Let's see. There it is. The Swarmlord doesn't have that slingshot ability anymore, from what I can tell. Instead, it gives cover. I'm pretty sure. I haven't read it in a bit. I haven't read the Swarmlord in a bit. But I'm pretty sure the Swarmlord gives cover now. So it doesn't have that slingshot thing anymore. So I'm not even sure if the Swarmlord is even like viable now. Because people play Swarmlord for the slingshot. So I'm not even sure if this Swarmlord is playable. They buffed all the Trigons, from what I can tell. So Trigons are now, they used to be a meme. They buffed a lot of meme units. Like the War used to be a meme unit, but now it's actually pretty solid. And yeah, the Trigons are really good now. So a lot of people would buy the. So what happened is a lot of people would buy the starting collection, which had a Trigon in it, and a lot of people would just like throw it away and get the Gene Stealers and the Broodlord. But now the Trigon's actually like viable now. So instead of throwing the Trigon away, I would actually keep it. Carnifexes are pretty much the same, as far as I can tell. I don't think they got any changes. Exarchan got a big change. Instead of having like 3 gun options, it only has the one. And it doesn't have that double shoot. I think it used to have a double shoot ability, but it doesn't have that anymore. So Exarchan got a big change. And the Exarchan has blast now. So every time it shoots, it's got blast, which is pretty cool. Um, what else? Biovore's got a lot of changes. I think the flying units stayed the same pretty much. I think they made spore mines better. So, let's see. I'm trying to remember all the changes I noticed. The Moloch looks really good now. Yeah, those are all like the changes I noticed. So yeah, I got mixed feelings on this book. Um, it's still a pretty cool book, but I would only recommend it to those guys who like the board games, because it's mostly rules. Half the book is rules. So I'd only recommend it to those guys who like the board game. I think that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. I got mixed feelings on this book. Bye.